Hola gente, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos a la segunda parte del sexto capítulo de Sherlock. En el anterior habíamos descubierto el cuerpo de Mercurio, recuerden, el artista, y encontramos una foto de una señorita africana que estaba siendo vejada por este señor que vamos a ver en la foto, que es el violador, y tendríamos que tratar de encontrar a alguien que la pueda reconocer. Se ve que es una mujer africana, ¿no? Por lo que se ve, así que vamos a tratar de encontrar a alguien por la calle que nos pueda dar algo de información, así que espero que disfruten el capítulo. Vamos allá.
You did everything correctly. Now, take off your outfit. I can't let you walk around in a dead man's clothes.
Bueno, no tenemos que cambiar según ya. Y bueno,
Is this familiar to you?
We cry for help. You do nothing. So when you ask for help, why should we speak?
muy bien. Yo no sé si no nos vamos a tener que vestir como africanos.
Let's pick something that suits you. A good choice. A good
Don't
choice
miss out on
indeed.
the best carpets on the island.
Excuse me, just one question.
You're lucky to find me.
Bien, sí señor. Vamos. Las cicatrices del rostro de la chica parecen ser de etnia Ewe. El único lugar de Cordona donde puede encontrarse gente del pueblo Ewe es el campamento de refugiados bajo Victoria Bridge, entre Escaladio y Silvertown. Ok, vamos a buscar ese lugar. Entre Escaladio. ¿Dónde está Escaladio? Escaladio. Rolling Bridge, Victoria Bridge. Ok. ¿Cómo bajamos por ahí, no? Lo siento, señorita. Por aquí.
Beasts!
Donde vamos hay quilombo, gente. Es así esto, ¿no? Acostúmbrense.
Murderers!
They're completely livid.
First they come to our land, then they murder our people.
Drop them all into the sea!
Can I ask you a question?
I'd help you, friend, but I know nothing.
A ver si sacamos la pista.
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a witness for a case.
A private investigator? Really? Even so, you're not authorized. I can't let you in.
And you are?
I'm Ronald Harlow, here to handle the refugee situation on behalf of City Hall. I'm the acting supervisor here, so I have full authority here to ask you to leave, or I shall order the police to detain you for trying to pass the blockade. Please, step up.
Bueno, a ver, observar a este muchacho. Trabaja en interiores, no le dará luz. Bien vestido. Es sedentario. Suda, está nervioso. Intenta parecer mayor. Ronald es un oficinista cansado de su trabajo. El ayuntamiento lo ha asignado a una supervisión de campamentos de refugiados, pero está demasiado cansado y es demasiado indiferente como para resolver los problemas que surjan. Tiene un bigote raro que cree que le hace parecer más mayor, su palidez y las bolsas bajo sus ojos sugieren que está cansado de su despacho atestado y oscuro, el que rara vez sale, aunque a juzgar por sus zapatos limpios y poco gastados no es de que salga mucho en cualquier caso. Sus palmas sudorosas indican que Ronald está estresado teniendo en cuenta el tiempo que hace hoy y no podrá llevar tanta ropa. Podría no llevar tanta ropa. Es un joven oficinista que se esfuerza todo lo que puede en revisar el campamento de refugiados que le han asignado en el ayuntamiento. No es que le entusiasme la responsabilidad, pero siempre hace todo de acuerdo al procedimiento, ejecuta todas las tareas que lo encargan. Sin embargo, carece de experiencia para tratar con problemas más allá de su escritorio. Intenta parecer mayor, dejándose el bigote, su palidez y las bolsas bajo sus ojos sugieren que trabaja en el despacho mal iluminado, el que rara vez sale a jugar con zapatos limpios y poco gastados. Debe tener un aspecto imponente llevando ropa elegante, pero teniendo en cuenta el clima de Cordona está fuera del lugar. Sus palmas sudadas sugieren que Ronald está sumamente estresado debido a de que está fuera de su zona de confort. Voy a elegir este.
What about the murder that this crowd keeps shouting about?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
I know you want to deal with this in the right way. You are obviously a professional and a responsible person, but you clearly have never handled a situation like this before.
I am handling it, Mr. Holmes. Don't question my capability here.
And tell me how you do it. You can't even calm this gathered crowd, and as for the police, they're not quite managing it either, are they? You consider yourself a problem solver, but until today, you've been solving problems sitting at your desk in a dark corner of a city hall room. Here, you need a more practical approach.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
I can help you to handle the situation if you're truly interested in solving things quickly and quietly.
And how exactly would you manage that?
Simply tell the police that I'm with City Hall and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest, but in return I need your help finding my witness. She's a young refugee. She's with child or was with child recently.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell the police to allow you to come
Muy bien.
inside.
Siempre
Just tell me when
conseguimos
you're
lo
ready.
que queremos.
Mr. Harlow, how did the refugees end up here, exactly?
Oh, so you're not from around here yourself?
I've been away for some time, but I read the papers.
Yes, this whole story has been in the papers for almost a year now. They were smuggled to Cordona on a ship from Africa.
Smuggled? Then why didn't you deport them?
The smugglers managed to sneak them to shore and hide them inside an abandoned warehouse. When the police raided the warehouse and found the refugees there, the ship was already gone. We aren't even certain as to which ship it was. We have busy shipping routes with other colonies these days, you see.
So you decided to lock them up under a bridge?
There was no other option. We're still trying to work out what to do with them. I only hope we'll find a humane solution and not put them on a raft and float them out to sea.
Mr. Harlow, what exactly do you do here? What are your responsibilities?
What I do and what I am responsible for are two different realities, Mr. Holmes. On paper, I am in charge of the camp territory, security, provision, and the refugees in general. What I actually do most of the time is knock on every city hall door trying to obtain some funding, or at least rations for the camp.
The police here on City Hall's behalf too?
They are, minus those who came here after the body was found. The governor won't let the refugees disperse into the island, so there's a significant police presence guarding the camp. Naturally, they answer directly to the police. I have some influence here, but I'm not their direct authority.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find Inspector Tewkesbury. He's the officer investigating the scene. Tell him I sent you. Say you're an independent expert from City Hall. He'll fill in the details for you.
I'll find my way with words. Thank you, Mr. Harlow.
Bueno, tenemos vía libre para investigar la escena del crimen.
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
Who the hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall. You're Inspector Tewkesbury, I presume?
A surveyor? What does that even mean?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office, and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home. As if I didn't have enough problems before you appeared.
Bueno, sortido, señor, por favor.
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees attacking a man. Clearly not a refugee. When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder. Big news for Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector. And none of the refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen. He's in a bad way.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypassers on the bridge. Was she harmed?
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's been questioned by my men, but she's just some refugee girl. Can't understand much English.
Did you learn anything about the dead man?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fished out of the sea over the past 20 years. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity?
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he
Si
was
tenía un
from.
paquete de puchos es nuestro señor que cojea.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
Do you have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly interrogate the refugees. At least those who can understand any English.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet. Since that's an unaffordable luxury now, they're looking how to protect their public image. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
Bueno, tenemos mucho que investigar, así que vamos a ir directo a lo que nos
Here we
compete.
go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body. 0.
Clearly a left handprint here.
Tenemos una mano izquierda. A ver qué tenemos acá. Una mancha de sangre.
Someone bled profusely here.
¿Qué tenemos acá?
A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently.
Hay muchas pistas, pero muchísimas pistas. Una huella.
A
Arena.
furrow in the ground. A blood trail leading to or from the canal.
Que puede ser que este tipo se haya arrastrado hasta el canal, se haya apoyado con la mano izquierda ahí.
These events have fractured into so many pieces. But I know you can collect them all, Sherlock.
Huellas de
A
una
man's
pisada
footprint.
desnuda.
A heavy
sola
boot with a
dañada.
worn out sole.
Botas de policía.
Police boots. Always happy to trample evidence.
A ver si tenemos algo más por acá. Allá arriba tenemos algo. Tenemos más por este lado. Un collar.
Carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment.
Podría ser de la chica que fue atacada. No, sangre.
The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike.
Y una especie de tronco, pero... A ver.
It might have been used as an improvised weapon. No hint of blood or impact.
Quizás fue solo para amenazar al tipo, no sé.
Someone was dragged against their will.
The refugees have been detained and will not leave until all the circumstances are clarified.
No me va a dejar pasar, me imagino, ¿no? Por supuesto que no. Tenemos algo más por acá. Este tipo nos va a decir...
Back off.
No, no me va a dejar pasar, muy bien. Y acá tenemos... al que está más herido.
The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately.
A ver qué más.
He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated.
Este tipo tiene
Sherry,
una
you know
infección.
first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. You can't leave him to certain death.
City Hall lubberheads.
Bien, tiene una caja de cigarrillos, a ver si son los...
Malpal, soaked with salt water.
Perfecto. Platita.
£1,000. A fair
Epa.
sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk.
Tenemos al muerto. Sí, es el tipo que estuvo en el departamento de
An
Mercurio.
interesting tattoo. Does it mean something?
Me parece que fue apuñalado con su propio cuchillo.
A steel dirk. Sharp. A common accessory among sailors and soldiers. I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain.
A ver qué más dice.
Coal dust under the nails. I don't see much coal around here.
Ok, también entró a la... a lo que vendría a ser la galería de arte.
Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man was limping, John.
Muy bien.
A violent death. But this man, limping. Coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John. You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place?
Bueno, marcamos la pista. A ver qué más tenemos por acá.
If they find out about the passage, everything will go to hell.
Averigua para qué es el pasadizo. Muy bien. Unos agentes de policía están preocupados por si la situación con el cadáver acaba en un confinamiento estricto del campamento y pierden el dinero que ganan con sus ardides.
Nobody will know anything if you keep your bloody mouth shut.
The coppers smell fishy here, Sherry. Perhaps we should sniff around in the camp a little more thoroughly.
Puerta robusta sin abrir en un tiempo.
Sealed shut. I doubt our man could get through these grates. It's unlikely anyone could get in or out of the camp by water without alerting the police guards. A single Malpal butt. Roadman's cigarettes. A brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers. So there wasn't any sophisticated infiltration plan. The good old police just let the man into the camp. Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp.
Ok, hay que hacer la reconstrucción ahora. ¡Ja! ¡Qué complicado va a ser esto! Muy bien. ¿Puede ser que el tipo se haya caído solo? No. El tipo se clava su propio cuchillo. Sí, señor. El tipo se clava su propio cuchillo. Esta creo que está bien. Ahora esta. No lo sé. Esta, a ver. Esta es así. Esta sí era como estaba. Perfecto. Voy a probar validar, a ver. Sí, señor. Muy bien.
So we have a thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates. He stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell. Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had a short smoke together.
Claro, la policía siempre metida en el
You
medio
live by the
del
sword,
quilombo.
you die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sword.
Exactamente yo.
You still here?
Bueno, vamos a proporcionarle la pista.
Inspector, I believe I can aid your investigation. I know who the dead man is and what really happened here.
You do? Well, good for you. But I'm afraid I'm not the one you need to share your findings with. Speak to Mr. Harlow here. He's the one responsible for settling things in the camp.
You don't even care to listen?
Oh, I do care. And maybe even more than I need to. But I'm only here today to lock the place up, question witnesses, and file the facts. It's sad, but coming up with conclusions is not among my tasks here. You fellows at City Hall do that.
Tiene menos ganas de
Speak to
laburar.
the supervisor. I'll just stand by and listen to what you have to say.
Bueno,
Go and bother someone else with this, son.
The guards at the sewers were speaking about taking refugees out of the camp. Do you know anything about this, Inspector?
Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads.
ok, no le interesa tampoco tanto. Así que no puedo hacer nada con mis conocidos. Tengo que hablar con el supervisor de campamento y contarle lo que he averiguado.
I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve one problem for you, but will create a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the canal.
Se mató como un boludo.
How did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into the camp without the police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger, but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
Bien, ya podemos
Do you
hablar
think
con la
one
chica.
small clock can make any difference in this place?
Who knows, John? Just one ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble.
You're the one who made the police leave us alone.
I proved to them that your people didn't kill that man.
What's in it for you? You need something from us.
Yes, I do. I need to speak with the girl drawn here.
The dead man came for her too. He wanted to take the girl away, but we won't allow her to be hurt again. What do you want from Nayla?
Nayla. She was hurt some time ago. I'm here to find the people who did this and bring them to justice. And to find them, I need Nayla's help. Will you let me speak to her?
Justice. There's no justice on this land. But you helped us, so maybe your words are not empty. You can speak to Nayla if she wants it. But I will be watching
No hay
you.
ningún problema, señor. Vigile todo lo que usted necesite vigilar. Trataremos con el
Hello,
máximo
Nayla.
respeto.
My name is Sherlock. I know someone hurt you. I am here to help. I'm trying to find the people involved and bring them to justice. Please. There is a photograph, and I'm sorry, it is terrible, but I simply must ask. Where did this happen? What can you tell me about these people? Christ, Sherlock. Nayla, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this.
You come here for me, but you are rude and cruel and condescending. A cross. The man had this cross. Now go away. Leave us be. I do not need another white man's help.
Bueno. Ningún problema.
Oh, glad that wasn't me.
Not my best work, John, by a long shot. Nayla doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But she helped you anyway. Now we know that maniac's face and the cross he wore, we can still catch him.
Bueno, a ver, ¿qué tenemos? El hombre no llegó por casualidad, es una pieza muy importante del caso y su tatuaje podría ayudarme a resolverlo. Ah, tenemos un montón de cosas en el Palacio de la Mente, ok. Acá tenemos la primera, el muerto del campamento. Era la misma persona que entró en la galería. Bien. Esfumador. El matón. A ver. El pintor. Acá está, perfecto. El asesino de Mercurio y el ladrón de la galería son la misma persona. Registraron el apartamento. Acá está. El visitante podría querer la fotografía. La intención del visitante podría haber sido localizar esa terrible fotografía. A ver. Bien. El ladrón no perseguía el asesinato de Mercurio. El ladrón quería la fotografía. Fue al apartamento de Mercurio a robar la fotografía, pero se encontró con el pintor y lo mató en defensa propia. Bien, el violador es un oficial de alto rango. Las medallas como esas suelen concederse a oficiales de alto rango. El violador de la fotografía podría serlo. El matón quería secuestrar a la chica. El matón fue al campamento para secuestrar a una mujer. Tuvo la oportunidad de matarla, pero no era el objetivo. Esbirro, no solo ladrón. No es solo un ladrón, sino también un secuestrador, un esbirro que juega el papel que le toque. Ok. tenemos algo más en el cuaderno. En el apartamento de Mercurio hallamos una fotografía de una vileza cometida sobre una joven por un degenerado. Nila dibujó una medalla peculiar con una forma de cruz que vio en el pecho del agresor. Las medallas como esas suelen concederse a los oficiales británicos de alto rango. No muchos visitan Cordona y menos aún trabajan en la isla. Bueno, gente, hasta acá la segunda parte de este sexto capítulo de Sherlock. Con la pista que nos dio la refugiada africana, podremos ir a identificar y a buscar al agresor, que parece ser un oficial británico de alto rango. Así que espero que no se pierdan la tercera parte y la conclusión de este crimen, este capítulo, que estuvo muy bueno, está muy interesante hasta ahora, así que no se lo pierdan. Si les gustó, denle un like, compartan, suscríbanse y dejen un comentario, que siempre viene bien. Así que los veo la próxima.